All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a concept that, let's be honest, you probably think you already know karma. But we're going to flip it on its head. Forget all the mystical, foggy ideas about fate. We're going to look at it as something super practical, almost like an instruction manual for life. We're calling it the Farmer's Guide to Karma.
So let's just start with a really big question, something we've all probably wondered about. Why is it that some people just seem to breeze through life, everything goes their way, while other people, it's just one struggle after another? Is it all just a cosmic lottery, random luck? Or could there be something else going on, like a set of rules working behind the scenes that maybe we just don't see?
Well, the idea we're digging into today argues that yes, there is a fundamental law at play. And it's one we've all heard of, for sure. But, and this is the key, very few of us actually get it. I mean, really understand it in a way that could genuinely change things for us.
In the original Vietnamese, this law is called Nhan Qua. We just call it karma. But here's the trick to really getting it. You have to completely ditch the idea of some mysterious cosmic fate. Instead, think of it as something way more down to earth, like farming. Seriously, it's just a natural law of cause and effect. It's as predictable as planting a seed and knowing, without a doubt, what kind of fruit is going to grow from it.
And look, this isn't just some abstract philosophical exercise. The whole point here is that when you truly grasp this law of cause and effect, it becomes a real, practical tool you can use. It's a way to cut down on all that frustration, to stop playing the blame game, and to finally feel like you're in the driver's seat of your own life.
Okay, so if life is a farm, then what are the rules? How does this farm operate? This whole framework boils it all down to 3 really simple and totally unbreakable rules for sowing your seeds.
And here they are, super straightforward. Rule 1, the seed and the fruit. They're always the same type. Rule 2, from just one tiny seed, you get back a whole bunch of fruit. And Rule 3, there's always a time delay. You plant the seed now, but you don't get the harvest until later. Sounds simple, right? Oh, but the implications, they are massive.
Yeah, this quote just nails it. It perfectly shows those first 2 rules. If you plant a grain of wheat, you harvest wheat, not corn, not apples, wheat. That's rule 1 in a nutshell. What you plant is what you get. And then you plant one seed, you harvest a whole bunch. Bam, that's rule 2, that incredible multiplication effect. All right, enough with the farming analogies for a second. How does this actually play out in real life, in our messy, complicated, everyday lives? What are these seeds and fruits we're actually talking about? Let's take something almost everyone wants, wealth. Okay, so if the fruit you want to harvest is money, then according to this logic, the seed you have to plant is also money. What does that mean? It means generosity, charity, giving. If you want to harvest wealth later, you have to plant the seed of giving it away now. That cause creates the future effect. Simple as that. Okay, now let's flip that on its head. What about a negative outcome, like getting sick? Well, the logic is just as straightforward. If the fruit you're harvesting is physical pain and suffering, then the seed you planted, it must have been an action that caused pain to someone else. You sow suffering, you reap suffering. The seed and the fruit are a perfect match.
And this logic stretches into all the complicated stuff in our lives too. Just look at these cause and effect pairings. The seed of being unfaithful, of breaking someone's trust, what does it grow? It grows into the fruit of having your trust broken. Or how about this one? The seed of disrespecting knowledge or teachers, the fruit, you find it almost impossible to learn anything new. And arrogance, aggression, that plants the seeds for a future where you get bullied or cheated. It's uncanny, right? In every single case, the fruit is a mirror image of the seed. So this all leads to the most important question, really. If this law of the farm is real, then who's the farmer? Who's out there planting all these seeds in your field, day in and day out? The answer? It's you. You are the farmer. And your farm tools? They're your body, your speech, and your mind. And every single move you make, every word that comes out of your mouth, heck, every single thought you let linger in your head, you're planting a seed. Constantly.
Yeah, we are sowing these seeds all the time using these 3 main tools:
First, through our body. You know, our physical actions. Second, through our speech, the actual words we say. And third, and this one is the trickiest, through our mind. Those thoughts of greed or anger or just plain ignorance that we let swirl around. Even just a fleeting negative thought, yep, that's another seed in the ground. And this isn't something you can clock in and out of. It's not a part-time job. It's happening every single moment of every single day. Whether you're aware of it or not, your thoughts, your words, your actions, they are nonstop planting the seeds for what's coming next. You are always farming.
Okay, I get it. This might sound a little scary, a little intimidating. If we've already been planting bad seeds without even knowing it, are we just doomed? Stuck with a bad harvest no matter what? The answer, thankfully, is no. You can totally become a more conscious farmer. You can actively manage your crop.
So that leads to the big practical question, right? What if you have that uh-oh moment and realize you've planted a really bad seed in the past? Is there anything you can possibly do now, before it sprouts into something awful? Absolutely. You've got two main tools in your kit. The first one is repentance. The analogy here is that sincere repentance is like pouring boiling water on a bad seed. It basically cooks it, neutralizes it, so it can't grow. The second tool? It's even simpler. Just start planting good seeds. Lots of them. Drown out the weeds by consciously, deliberately planting the seeds for the future you actually want. And this leads to a really mind-bending shift in how you see things. When you help someone else, you're not really just doing it for them. You are planting a good seed in their field that is going to grow into a harvest in your future. Think about it. That kindness, that help you offer, it's a cause, and every cause has to have an effect. So when you follow this logic, helping other people becomes the single most powerful and effective way to help yourself.
So if this law really holds true, it means happiness isn't something you go out and find. It's something you build, something you create, one seed at a time. And of course, the same goes for misery. You are the farmer of your own life. The power and the responsibility, it's all yours. It's entirely in your hands. So the only question left to ask is, what are you going to plant today?